through regular users 6
Hope
months
everybody's
out
muted.
if it's still working.
You have to figure the DJI probably smashed that camera up in testing as well. You know, all that stuff went through testing.
But you know how it is. No matter how much the testers crash it around, they still can't put it through what regular consumers could put a product through.
Oh, of course, of course.
Forgive us. We're all talking, and we've been live on the air for about 45 seconds now. And welcome to Drone Therapy Season 3, Episode 4, New Rules from the FAA. And there's been a bunch of videos and stuff put out. And so everybody's got conflicting opinions and ideas, and everybody's saying this video is right, this video is right, this video is right. None of us know exactly for sure what the rules mean. But we know what each one of us's personal viewpoint is. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and we're going to get opinions and stuff from the chat and see what everybody thinks about it. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass it off to everybody that's here so they can introduce themselves, and then we'll get back to some more craziness. First off, I'll pass it to Ron Brown.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Bill. We're going to have a great show tonight. We got John Cuppi with us. We got Nemo in the house with us. We're going to talk some FPV. We're going to talk some FAA. I didn't say FFA tonight. I said that the other night, the Future Farmers America, but I got it right tonight, folks. So I'm on board. So said got a lot to talk about. I got a new drone in the house, a JJRC rocket or whatever. I don't have the transmitter, but if anybody wants to know anything about it, we'll talk about that. And I'm going to throw it over to my good friend, John Cuppi.
Hey, guys. It's great to be here again to chat some FPV, talk a little bit about these new rules. Hopefully there won't be a brawl over our different opinions on these new rules. But I think we're all kind of on the same page, more or less. And we're going to talk about that action cam, too, right? A little bit. The Osmo.
Hold it up, Nemo.
Hold it up. Show it to us.
Yeah, well, too, so he'll be on cam. Wait, here, I'll highlight him. Oh, he's putting it up there. No, I see his pretty face. Oh, there it is. He's got a pretty fella.
Godfather FPV, what's going on?
I don't know if it's him or if it's
all you in the chat.
If it's the speaker in the background, I'm having a Grateful Dead flashback. I don't know. But anyway, you ever notice how his speaker in the background kind of flashes? So maybe I'm just getting drawn to it.
I just got that today, in fact. That's a Bluetooth speaker that I can take. It'll hold a charge for 14 hours, and it sounds amazing. It's awesome.
Wow. But no, you were telling John earlier, I know it was, you said, watch me put this speaker up and throw Bill off the whole night long. But anyway, so Nemo's here. Something else we're going to try to get to later on is like most of you kind of know my story. Some people call me Dead Thomas. So we were going to talk about why I came up with that, about why we came up with the show, the group, all that stuff. And Nemo was going to tell us how he came up with Nemo because he said it was a comical story. But first, what do you all think about this new situation involving the FAA rules and controlled airspace? Like me personally, I actually live in controlled airspace, and the airport used to be just a recreational airport, but it was upgraded to an international airport. But beforehand, all I had to do, I'd called the tower so many times and let the phone ring so many times that I knew one of the guys that worked in the tower. I simply texted his phone, told him I was going to fly in my backyard. He marked it, and it didn't tie up the tower line. Well, even after it became an international airport, and I still had a limited 200-foot ceiling, instead of calling the tower, I would just text him. He'd say, okay, you can't go above 200, stay in your backyard. Okay. I get a text Monday, just out of the clear blue sky that says, sorry, bro, you can't fly, period, no more till Atlantic's in place. Okay, and I'm like, what? So I took it with a grain of salt. Ha, 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 he's messing with me. And then John shows me this stuff that's leaked from the FAA, and I'm like, ugh. So since then, I have not flown anything except inside the house, and if something maybe 15 feet in the backyard. And it's driving me nuts because normally I didn't fly but like 100 feet in the air to check either my roof or the tree next to my house that looks like it's got a dead section about halfway up, and it's a tall pine tree. So, and it looks like if it toppled, it would hit my bedroom. So I check it from time to time to see if stuff was wrong with it. I can't do that now. So, you know, and sometimes like the pictures that if anybody's seen any of my videos out over the bay, I'm maybe 75 feet in the air, you know, and I can't do that now either. So I'm just like, you know, between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what to do. Oh,
Yeah, I didn't.
I want to holler out to the chat really quick. Ron, I can see Marcus, Idaho quadcopter. Quadcopter. I can see Quadfather FPV Brian. I can see True Drone Reviews Brian. There's 2 Brians there, and they spell their name the same way, I do believe. Mikey B, the Drone Ranger, Drone Worship, the Executioner. That's about everybody. Okay, continue. Oh wait, Gary.
I did not know that you live so close to an airport. So, or what became a national or regional, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that you were, because you were given, you know, you were talking to John and I, and you were, God, this is killing me. You know, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And I didn't really, it didn't really click until you actually told me you were within that space. So I can imagine, you know, your issues. But to that, I will say that I think a lot of people that fly FPV, they kind of just, they don't really care. They don't really care because it's more of a get in, get out. You're not as, I don't know. It's just different for an FPV guy versus a GPS drone, which I'm not saying one is better than the other. We're all in this together. We all fly this, you know, quads or, you know,
Yeah,
try, you know, whatever you fly. But I just think it's a little more, it's more of a guerrilla type. FPV is more like a guerrilla type. Let's get in there and fly, rip some packs and pack up and get the hell out.
yeah, and yeah, like you were saying, and for an FPV flyer, you're talking what 4 to 6 minutes for a pack, as opposed to a camera bird that's in the air for half an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. See, I didn't even think about that either.
Yeah, because so you're like you said, it's guerrilla. You could go rip a building and be gone in 10 minutes before anybody even showed up.
Exactly.
Which, you know, I'm okay. There's another situation like involving a personal situation with me because I don't want to endanger our business or anything like that. So I'm not going to break any laws.
Right.
So, you know, I understand the rebellious nature of everyone out there, but I'm looking at the long-term goal. Like we had that notice this week about how now Homeland Security's come out again and they're basically, you know, coming out against camera birds from China that have that kind of software. And if I'm not mistaken, pretty much every drone on the planet has something from China embedded in it. I mean, you know, there might be, I don't know about Evolve. I don't know if everything in the circuitry and the boards and stuff is completely all American made or not. So I'm thinking there's going to be some Chinese tech pretty much in every drone on the planet. So I'm trying to figure out how they're going to, but they came out again and said that, you know, DJI drones were sending information back to China. So I'm like, okay, if we're limiting FPV pilots, like there's actually a couple of fields in and around Seattle that are among the places that you're allowed to fly while the Atlantic gets in place for everybody, but they're AMA privately owned fields. So you'd still have to be an AMA member and you'd still have to follow the rules of the individual fields. And I've learned this from the Drone Owners Network Live Saturday. They had a gentleman on that was very well versed in all the rules and stuff. And so I asked the question. So they've got a full show about it over there on Drone Owners Network Live. Go over there and check it out. If you're curious about the rules, they asked a bunch of questions and stuff. So there's a lot more information there as well. Tons of people have videos out with their opinions and ideas, but you know, where I live at and the particular situation I'm in, I kind of have to stay here a lot of times. It's not beneficial to our business for me to just take off and go fly somewhere. you know, to where I'm completely legal and can fly 400 feet in the air. But I love to fly, and just that 200 feet is enough for me. You know, a lot of people don't even go that high to get great pictures and stuff. I could, like I said, if they would give me 150 feet, I'd be thrilled. But right now, I don't have anything, nothing at all.
So, Bill, you're going to have to really get good with that little tiny whoop you have to fly indoors all summer. Unfortunately, that's the situation Bill's put in at this moment. I'm lucky that my backyard is unrestricted airspace.
Oh, I'm reading what some of the stuff.
Go ahead, Bill.
Carpenter, hey, what's up? I'm still listening to you too, Ron. Dan he's anti-government, but you know, I understand. I get you, Dan. I understand it completely, and you got to do your thing. Go, buddy. That's fantastic. We'll even start a GoFundMe if you end up in jail. I promise.
Well, you know what Dan's saying? I've come to the conclusion that our government are the biggest trolls ever, and I refuse to pay the toll troll. You know, I understand his frustration there because, you know, it's very telling how much the FAA cares about hobbyists with just the way that these new rules and restrictions were implemented. Just look at it. Look at how they rolled it out without being ready for the hobbyists to be able to fly in Class D airspace legally. You know, that right there just shows a blatant disregard for the hobbyists. You know, right now you can't even fly this damn tiny hawk in your backyard if you're in Class D airspace. You could be just outside the circle. You could nary see a plane fly over your head, and that plane could be like 10,000 feet in the air, but you can't fly this. You can't fly this stupid thing legally. Right. That's the situation right now. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, or the rocket.
Or the rocket.
By the way, you think the rocket's reporting back to China?
I don't know, man. It could be
spying on the U.S. back to China, because I got some real good footage of my driveway today. That could be really useful to the Chinese government.
Could be going right back to China. Who knows? Maybe so.
They'll know all about my driveway and garage.
What is that thing? I'm sorry. I was kind of looking at the chat.
That's the JJRC Rocket 360 drone.
Oh, wow. Really? 360?
Yeah. Brian Singleton, it does some, I don't know what the button is, but it does some crazy button where it spins around real fast and takes video. It actually has a HD camera, HD in air quotes, of course.
So, wait a minute. What's that saying it actually produces? 420?
360.
There you go.
It has an app. I haven't got the app going yet. I just flew.
Cheers.
But you know what?
John's exactly right on the government government overreach, government not considering the hobbyist drone flyers. That would be like, I don't know, if they made new rules for boaters up and the boaters weren't allowed to boat in their normal boating areas or whatever. No other hobbyists and any other thing, boaters, golfers ever got disrespect like we just got.
I gotta call this one out, man. We had a response in the chat from Mikey B, aka the Drone Ranger. Has the FAA outlawed paper airplanes yet?
Ooh. I mean, Mike B's got a good point there. I mean, you know, there's so much talk about, you know, what should we do with all these drones? You know, what rules, what laws should we implement? What stack of tests should we do? And it's like, you know, there's so much discussion about all this, but rarely does anyone just stop for a second and say, why do we really need to deal with all this? You know, it's been 7 years and there haven't been any deaths from drones that I'm aware of so far. Okay. So we've got 7 years so far. Nobody's died from a drone. A drone has not, you know, hit into a plane and took something down. You know, it's taking some stupid online test going to make somebody who's immature fly any safer? You know, is adding more fees, more red tape to fly? Is any of that really going to make any difference? You know,
John,
when did flying this in my backyard become a crime? Seriously, FPV is not a crime.
John is a great point. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to own and fly a drone than it is to drive your car, and your car is much more dangerous on the road than any of our drones are.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we allow these hunks of metal to drive on our roads, and you know they're dangerous as all can be. But that's okay. They were talking about standoff distances, right? That was last month. I think the FAA cited how Canada has a 30-meter standoff distance, and so does the UK, where you can't be within 30 meters to launch a drone, any drone, doesn't matter what it is, including one like this. Again, same rules. The FAA was citing that some countries have implemented that as their standoff distance, where you can't be within 30 meters of a home, people, vehicles, wildlife, whatever. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's just beyond ridiculous. It makes it practically illegal to do anything.
Well, what about if you're flying at a park and there are people walking around or walking their dog? Because where we fly, there's always people coming around, and we're, if we're in the goggles, someone gives us a shout out, hey, on your left, on your right, blah, blah, blah. But, that's going to hurt there too.
Yeah. Yeah. In these situations, like I said, so much other stuff dangerous. Like say at the park, somebody could throw a baseball and hurt you much harder than if a drone hits somebody or whatever. But they don't outlaw baseballs or footballs or some kind of flying object like that doesn't have a propeller on it. You said about the paper airplane or kites. What about kites? Kites fly, whatever. Do they fall under these rules?
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, what Nemo was saying, how most people in FPV, the general sentiment is, F this, whatever. We don't care about this crap. You could see that today if you looked at Rotor Riot. I think 10 hours ago, someone posted, so what do you guys think of all these new rules? And there's just hundreds of comments, or people are just saying, screw it. I don't care. I'm just going to fly. Who gives a crap? For reasons that Nemo was saying, how it's kind of an in and an out thing. And the racers, the racing drones, we don't have all these logs that say the DJI quads have that, we have to worry about it being turned over to some authority potentially. You're in, you're out, nobody, there's no log of any of it. So there is that, but I don't necessarily agree with that attitude either, because I don't like that something that's fun, that I enjoy, is slowly going to become a crime. It's slowly going to become something that's illegal straight up to do. I mean, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And that's going to affect the market. That's going to affect the marketplace for things, whether people like it or not. When something is illegal or hard to do legally, it's going to affect meetups, because these meetups that people like to do, such as Rotor Riot, Rampage, and all that, those need insurance. Those need all that stuff. Maybe we won't see stuff like that, because the rules will just be so above and beyond ridiculous in the future that it's just truly going to be 100% underground thing. That when you put those goggles on, you're illegal. What the hell is that noise?
Now, John, how do these new FFA rules concern people flying indoors? They don't mention anything about flying indoors in the rules?
Doesn't matter. You can fly indoors all you want.
Okay.
The dogs went after it.
So if you and I rented a giant football enclosed football thing, like if we rented Cowboy Stadium and closed the top on it, we could fly around all we wanted.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You could do whatever the hell you want indoors.
As long as the top roof on it, you can do whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah, inside you can do whatever the hell you want.
What about events like Joe Knoll? Where is that at? Is that in South Carolina or North Carolina? That's somewhere close to here.
It's somewhere like that. Yeah, Joe Knoll is one of those big. I don't know if it's more for. I know it's more for airplane and helicopter guys, but those guys need to think about this stuff too. Now they're all lumped in the same category.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm not. I don't. Did we say something about getting our 107s? I wasn't saying that, because Dan was talking about kissing butt and
nobody
yeah.
107s.
Yeah, I would have. That's why I would get 107 to do pro work.
Let's see. I'm saying that they don't have the manpower to push any of this stuff. I'm tired, of the scare tactics from the government. They can eat a massive set of balls. Yeah, I mean, look, the FAA, in terms of funding and whatnot, is very stretched. In fact, the whole government is probably stretched for funding to do much of anything right now. So, who does the FAA have to help them out with this? Well, they control YouTube. They can try to troll YouTube. That's an entire job in and of itself. And they can also, the police cannot the police really can't put you in jail for breaking the FAA's rules. As far as I'm aware, they can't put you in jail. They can tattle on you to the FAA, but they can't put you in jail for that. That's my understanding of it.
Well, no, I see what he's saying, man.
Local law enforcement, too, has way more to worry about than some person flying a drone in a park or something. As long as you're not being a dick, I don't think that, for the most part, you're going to get in trouble.
I tried to tell you all this the other day, man. I told you this even because Curtis is even agreeing, too, that local law enforcement can easily, and they can do all of it. Remember, I told you, John, the other day, I said, local law is going to be happy to do this now. And you're like, oh, they're not going to care. And I'm like, all those times that somebody that knew the rules, that had blown them off before, they're going to be itching to go up to them now. So, I get what everybody's saying, and I understand why Dan was talking about 107 because some people are personally saying that's what they're going to do. It's a personal choice.
Curtis, I do know the FAA rules, but what I'm saying is that as far as I'm aware, they still can't literally take you to jail for, say, flying a drone in Class D airspace. Yeah, they can ask for your card. They can see all that stuff, but they're not going to take you to jail for it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Listen, I don't know what happens in big cities, but I live in a small town at the shore of New Jersey. And if you call the police and say somebody's dog just pooped in my front yard, and that's against the law or whatever, the police don't even come out and do anything about it.
There you go.
They're not looking for more. They're overtaxed as it is now. They're not looking for more things they have to go out and police the site unless somebody calls them up in my town. Anyways, I'm not talking about anybody else's town, but in my town, if the police call them up and say somebody's flying a drone over my house, they may come out, but otherwise they're not looking.
Similarly here in mid-Missouri, the police have so much to deal with. We're talking about, states like Missouri have serious drug problems to deal with. The police do not give a crap. They really don't. And talking about how you might call the police in Jersey. Yeah, the police in Jersey are really busy. My parents have these people that they park all over the side of the street in the neighborhood where they're not supposed to park. And it actually causes them a problem to get out of our driveway. We've asked them to stop. They asked them to stop. They wouldn't stop. They've called them up. And they call the police. Police don't even come out to ticket these people. That would be an easy ticket, right? That would be an easy ticket. Right. Tickets made for parking illegally on a residential neighborhood street. But they don't come out. They don't do it because they're so busy doing so much other crap.
Right. It's the same way with the drone thing. If no policeman's going to drive by my town in Margate and say, "Oh, he's flying a drone over an empty beach there. We're going to go over and check his license." That's never going to happen.
Okay, and Curtis is saying that there's no jail time, that it would be a fine. Would it be a substantial fine or something else? Are the weight limits officially removed?
That's what I think. As far as I know, the weight limits are gone, but I'm not. I'm not a lawyer.
They're gone. Maybe Curtis can fact check that, but as far as I'm aware, the 250-gram thing is gone. It's not there.
So now the rocket drone is in the same category with the Phantom 4 Pro.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, technically you couldn't go outside your house in Class D airspace and fly.
Fly the rocket.
Yeah.
So according to that, this is considered the same as this.
Yeah, and the Phantom 4. And
yeah. That's ridiculous.
Huh. Okay, so what did you? Okay, being an FPV pilot, the new law about having a spotter. Do you always have a spotter when you fly?
Normally, yeah, we do, because one, I don't like to fly when other people are flying, just because I don't want to get any video interference and crash, because I put a lot of money into my gear, and I don't want to black out over the middle of a tree and like go down and lose a GoPro or damage a expensive motor. But yeah, we normally do. We normally have. There's one guy that's very rarely do we have everybody flying at the same time, because we don't want to crash. We want to keep our stuff together, and we don't want to have any kind of video interference when each other's flying. That's a big issue.
Another thing too is if you were to go down, your spotter would be able to see where you went down much more easily than you trying to figure out where you were from the goggle view.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. Well, that makes sense, and a lot of times too, when a camera bird's flying, we should do that for that purpose as well. I don't know how many stories we've heard of. Well, I lost the and it went down, and it was in the last place, and I checked, and by the time you get there, it's gone.
Bill, in the chat room, Curtis is talking about the online test coming even for a hobbyist like us. We're gonna have to pass an online test sometime before November.
Well, we were heading that direction, but we were trying to get clarification on if the weight limits were gone first. Because remember, we had just asked the chat for that, and John was even, well, we'll see if Curtis can get some, which I thought was kind of cool. It's like, can someone in the control room get me some information on this subject?
Bill, the QC guy, says this kind of the same thing we were saying. He's understanding law and either file it or don't. But he said the local law enforcement here could give two shits about him flying a drone.
Okay, now y'all can fly a little bit crazy in the chat, and I'm even not a monetized channel, but from time to time, my grandson might watch this. So I would love you all to death if we could try. I'm not saying that you got to completely, but let's try to keep it a little bit clean.
Yeah, how hard can it be?
Yeah, well, but trust me, I'd love to say a little F-bomb here and there myself, but I don't want to put 21 on it because it seems that YouTube goes, ew, we can't sell this to our people. No, go away.
Hey,
you say fart? You said the F word. You say fart?
Yeah. All right, Dan, we got you. That's cool. Thanks for coming in. We understand your opinion. It's important, just like everybody else's in the drone community. We all got to stick together and remember that, because I'm still under the theory that commercial drones are going to try to push us out of the sky. I just get that feeling, man, which is perfectly fine. I get that you all don't see it that way and you don't care about that. But like I was saying in the beginning, this is just our personal point of view. And we're going to the chat to find out what the information is to try to get the most in-depth and proper rules out there so that the people that do want to follow them know how they are and what they are. And I'm just in a situation, like I was talking to Dan earlier, I said if I was younger and I wasn't married and didn't have grandkids, I'd probably be the rebel too. Woohoo. But right now I got responsibilities, so I kind of gotta stick by the, but I'm hoping somebody out there is going to open the door up, and to bring it into the next thing that Curtis had brought up. What do you all think about the online testing that's going to come up that you're going to have on your person in order to fly? And I do believe that includes you too, FPV.
It does.
That you're going to have to produce if a local law enforcement, who some people are trying to say can enforce the law, asks to see. What do y'all think of that?
I mean, well, you already kind of had to have your card with you prior to all this, so I guess it's just another extension. It's just another thing to worry about, to try to avoid a fine. But what I'm hoping is, at least if they're going to do this test, I pray to God we don't have to go to a testing center or something like that, that we can just do it from home, online, get your card, get your stuff, print it out, and be done with it. if we have to go to a testing center, that's really going to be a pain in the ass. And like if someone's going to have to pay for that. Okay, we talk about tax money and everything else. Someone's going to have to pay for a testing center for people to sit down in, and there's going to be fees. Then it'll definitely be more expensive than having to do the test. Yeah, it will be online, but I heard someone say that will it be a test online that you have to take at a testing center, or will it be just all online taken from home?
Okay,
Like
Curtis just confirmed it will be an online test that you can take from home. Also, he was talking about he didn't say anything about the weight changes, but I think what happened with the weight changes is it was either in the AMA exclusion or something in the original hobbyist that gave us the right to fly. And once they rescinded that, that's what took the weight limits away, right? Is that what did it? Or is it worded into the new one? Because he's saying he doesn't see it worded into the new one. Wasn't the weight limit in our previous exclusion or whatever allowed us to fly as hobbyists?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I can't tell you what.
So
what
once they
last fall there was a weight class in there.
Yeah,
right. But once they rescinded that and replaced it with this new one last Friday, there's no weight now.
And the weight class, the only thing I can tell you for sure about that weight class was if you were under a certain weight class, like the rocket here wouldn't need to be registered. I wouldn't have to put that my number on this because the rocket would have been under that weight.
But okay, but the thing about it is last Friday that was all removed and replaced with this new order, and there's nothing written in there about weight. There's nothing in there written. So technically, I would think that you can't.
No, Curtis is saying that now there's nothing on the FAA page about weight, and I think he's right.
So I need to put my number on the rocket now. My rocket needs that my FAA number, right?
Okay, but where was that rule? What I'm trying to say is where was that rule that gave us a weight limit?
Well, I'm reading something here on the FPVFC, and they had a link. They have a link here to FAADroneZone.faa.gov, which actually still has some sort of thing on here regarding the weight. But it says, where do I register my unmanned aircraft? Register your craft using this website if it weighs more than 250 grams. But the key word here is register. Even if you don't have to register it, you still have to follow the rules. That's the tricky thing.
Oh, here's the thing. He's saying there never was a true weight limit. It had always been a suggestion, and it was just that people seemed to follow it, that there never was a really written rule.
This is probably outdated at this point, but FPVFC linked to it in their recent analysis of all the changes. So I don't really know. That's what they're citing. I put a link to FPVFC.
Does anybody hit that link that Steve Carpenter put up too about the tort drone law that they've been trying to pass? Hey, Roger, glad to see you. Thanks for coming in. Okay. Oh, okay, but I thought that the 400-foot ceiling was hard now. That's law, right?
It is hard now, yeah. Before it was just a guideline where you could fly above 400 feet if you were a hobbyist, and it didn't really matter.
He's saying the same thing was a guideline basically about the weight class.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know.
So
yeah.
So technically, but okay, where there's not a weight limit anymore, then it would kind of blanket everything then, right?
That's right. I have to put a number on this little guy, and I have to not fly it in Class D airspace.
Where are you going to fit that on those?
I don't know. I have to fit it somewhere. Have to put it somewhere.
Get the world's smallest label maker.
Well, see, the thing about it is like you were bringing up the other day, John. They didn't get this ready before they rolled it out, and that's what scares me, man.
Well, let me give you some insight on the FAA. I've been dealing with the FAA for about 25 years doing my job, and they're not well organized. They are the FAA. I mean, that's all I can really. It is what it is. They come in, they do spot inspections of where we work, what we do, and make sure we're following guidelines. And some of them can be abrasive, some of them can be pretty cool, but they're not very well organized, just to put it that way.
Okay, so
Like the DMV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
all right.
Like DMV, the post office. Let's name every other government. No, I don't hate the government. I really don't. I don't. The government does a lot of good stuff for us. It does a lot of bad stuff for us too. I'm not anti-government, but I understand that. This is a small cog in a giant machine. All this stuff.
Hey, Bill Thomas, you made the comment about they put these laws into effect before they were totally written and fleshed out or whatever. Maybe that's because big business that is pushing these new laws didn't have everything figured out yet. They're still waiting for the instructions from Amazon and Pizza Hut and whoever else is going to stuff to us.
Curtis was bringing that up too, where remember when we talked about it before? Oh wow, I think even this may be back in the original days when it was me, you, and Dan and Billy, John. Remember when we were talking about the aerial highway, and there was going to be 300 to 400 was going to be commercial, and then 300 to 200 was going to be hobbyist and yada yada yada. You remember we were all talking about that, and it was going to be like you're going to have south drones at 125 and north drones at 150, and
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying basically is in the works, is what if I'm getting the gist of what he's talking about. Oh, wow. And then he was talking about, but by the time we have to go to the DMV to register our drone locally, we'll be flying in those drones. So it would make sense. I mean, we'll literally be going, I'm going to Safeway in the sky.
Walmart.
Curtis just made a funny comment. He goes, wait till you have to go to the DMV to register your drone locally. And I just laughed because I still got to go to the Missouri DMV because they put my wrong birthday on my license. What they did was they put the month and the day that the license expires as my birthday, but they got my birthday right. So I have to go in there and deal with that at some point. I didn't notice that until like a month ago. I'm like, oh my God, they got my birthday wrong on my license. That's another great government organization.
John, when you go in there to deal with that, ask them while I'm here, can I get my drone registered too?
Don't go in and speaking with the Russian accent. They might wonder.
Oh man. Ron in New Jersey is terrible too. One time my mom went in there to try to get her license renewed, and she didn't have enough of the birthday stuff because there was like a breach in Trenton or something with birth certificates. So she had to get a new birth certificate. The person behind the desk, they punched a hole in her license. They thought it was expired. They misread it, but they decided to punch a hole in it and give it back to her. And she was like, "What the hell did you do?" And they're like, "We punched a hole in your license because it's expired." She's like, "No, it's not." They looked at it, they're like, "How am I supposed to drive out of here now? Because you just invalidated my license."
Was this in New Jersey?
Yes, this was in New Jersey.
Well, she should have gone up to the guy. Well, in the DMVs in New Jersey, there's a policeman that sits in every DMV. She should have gone up to the policeman that sits at the front there and says, "These people just assaulted my driver's license. Can you arrest them?"
Oh man, New Jersey DMV is
New
terrible.
Jersey, remember, you have to have the 7 steps, the 7 levels of ID in New Jersey.
That's right, the 7-point ID. I don't forget it. Here in Missouri, it's a lot easier. You practically have a library card for a license here in Missouri.
Now that's funny. Phantom Hodges asked to see if there was any ladies in the chat. If there's ever any ladies in our chat when we're doing a show, we better go buy lottery tickets, man. I'm telling you, because if we get that popular with women coming in here, I'm telling you. Anyway, but let's see. Cardoso was talking about how he never flies higher than 100 to 150 feet. I don't think really anybody does. You don't want to fly any higher than that unless you're trying to get this like huge landscape or something, because you usually got some kind of point of interest that you're going to be focusing on anyway, and you're never going to be that high unless it's just for maybe a minute or two, trying to get like a big panoramic shot, but most everything else is going to be a lot closer in.
But Bill's right. As a photographer, I always fly between 100 and 200 feet. The only time I'm going higher now is to do a return to home or something like that, so I don't hit. I don't maybe hit anything or whatever. But I'm always at 100 to 200 feet when I'm actually filming or taking pictures.
And to like even Dan, I know Dan, even though he'll be a rebel, he's probably not going to go past 400 feet. He's probably not going to. He'll definitely not fly into controlled airspace, especially if he knows it's an international airport. He might be saying, down with the power. And excuse me, I know Dan well enough to know he's not going to endanger any people.
Yeah.
And I know he's not going to do anything crazy or erratic that's going to put anybody. It might put Dan in harm, but that's going to be it.
Right.
That he won't put anybody else in harm's way. And that's what kind of aggravates me about how, because a lot of people say this is a money grab. I don't know. Is it a money grab? I don't know.
It could be.
I wanted to give a shout out to Steve Carpenter here because he says he's an observer on the panel of lawyers who are going to have the final draft of, I guess, whatever rules the FAA is going to come up with and set them all in stone. So, he's one of the people there that I guess is representing us as hobbyists. So a big thanks to him for being there for us, because at the end of the day, a lot of us, we don't have the time, the money, the ability to even be there for those conversations where all these corporations like Amazon et al., they have people to pay to be there at that table.
Lobbyists.
AMA was supposed to be there lobbyists. AMA was supposed to be there for us, but they have dropped the ball on that one. So, I mean, Steve Carpenter, you are doing the Lord's work when you are there amongst all those scary people, at least to me, that really.
Yeah. Hey, Bill Thomas, would you read Brian Singleton's comment about, he said he checked that FFA and a 200 gram limit is still on there. Did you see that, Bill?
Okay. I see that now that you brought it up. I was also reading what Steve Carpenter was talking about how it was finalized. And then I skipped down and saw what Curtis was talking about the FAA is going to issue guidance for how they recognize community-based organizations, which could eventually lead to a Facebook group being a community-based organization.
And Steve's also made a comment at John saying it's not the FAA, it's local and federal laws that they're going over. Or they're
okay. I apologize. I must have missed that. The chat's going kind of fast. So
I missed it also, John.
Either way, Steve, just generally, it's great that you're getting involved in your local community with this stuff, because too many people, they just can't, or they don't have the time or whatever. So, being the voice, or you're the voice for many of us in your community. So I appreciate that. I appreciate it when I see that.
Well, I have to bring something else out, a little comic humor from the chat, not just me. Brian Gibbs, if you don't know him, Quadfather FPV. When I made the comment about women in the chat, we should go buy lottery tickets. He typed in, I had some strange lady taking pictures of me while I was flying. I mooned her the next picture. LOL.
I was with him when that happened. I can vouch for him.
So moon over, what was it? Camelot? Well, no, what is it? Neverland. Moon over Neverland.
Exactly.
Moon over Neverland.
John,
I said it again. I'm going to get it.
John, here's a funny down at the shore where I have my shore home in my town, Margate. The local town doesn't have any drone laws, but the next town north of us, Ventnor City, they have drone laws that in the summertime between May 31st and September 1st, there's no flying anywhere in Ventnor on public property, including the beach. Okay,
wow.
But if you dig into the law. It says any drone with any aircraft or monitoring or whatever, they go on and on and on. So if you actually dig in the law, it's any drone with a camera on. So it doesn't say anything about drones without cameras. So in other words, if I took my Bugs 3 down there, took the camera off of it, I don't fall under any of their laws. And I don't know if that's on purpose or they just made a mistake. But the police chief posted the laws on Facebook, and that's where I read them. to the letter that it was only a drone with some kind of a camera, or they said monitoring device at some point.
Well, I'll tell you what, New Jersey, I was following New Jersey's legislation itself with drone laws. New Jersey as a whole has been trying to get drone laws established for the entire state. They tried a few years ago with this ridiculous thing targeting camera drones where they were going to try to ban camera drones from being able to take pictures or video of New Jersey critical infrastructure. And what they listed as critical infrastructure was telephone poles, highways, streets. They practically banned everything. So the reason it got struck down is because the ACLU stepped in and said, this is a violation of people's right to take pictures and video of what they want. You can't just say that people aren't allowed to take pictures of telephone poles. That's absolutely absurd.
Because you would have to ban somebody taking a picture with their cell phone of that same telephone pole, right?
Exactly, Ron. Exactly, Ron. So they backed off of it. They wrote this whole legislation out to try to get it through with the idea of the camera and the camera this, camera that. So yes, that got stomped down by the ACLU.
Yeah, I mean, remember when they say drones can't take pictures of telephone poles or highways or something or anything like that, they got to remember that thousands of people walk by those same highways and telephone poles with a high quality smartphone in their pocket. That most of these, like your flagship iPhones and Android phones, can take a as good or better picture than most drones can.
Absolutely. And we've also got those long range lenses where you can literally see into someone's window with them, just a regular old DSLR.
Right. Like, yeah, right. If I went out and got a Canon or Nikon and bought like the most expensive zoom lens that they had, I could get a lot closer to something I could than with a drone that doesn't have a zoom.
Want to give another quick shout out to the chat. I can see that Artco Drone Solutions has come in. Drone Shots has joined us. There's still a lot of chat going on. I can see True Drone Reviews is talking away. Roger from Canadian Drone Hub, excuse me, from Canadian Drone Hub's talking away. That Nemo guy with the long furry beard's talking away in the chat. Steve Carpenter's still talking away. I see Phantom Hodges Drone still talking. Curtis is sitting here somewhere, I still do believe. Something else I was wanting to ask. Remember, it used to be kind of 400 above and around an object, basically, you could have. Yeah. But now I think it's just 400 straight above, right? Is that right?
Are we talking hobbyist or 107 or?
Yeah, hobbyist. I was thinking it used to be that we could go kind of like, didn't we have 400 kind of in all directions?
Yeah.
And then, but now it's just 400 above and that's it.
Okay, so Curtis is saying not for recreational pilots. You cannot fly 400 feet above a structure. So, like, let's say there's a tower or something. You want to fly that for hobby, you can't.
That's the way I understand it too.
107.
Yeah, that's the way I understand it also, John.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification, Curtis. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's a new law. That may not have been in effect before last Friday, but that is the law now. That
it wasn't like that before.
Only could go the 400 feet above or
around an object. Yeah, it used to be that we could do that too. I was thinking, but now we can only go 400, the equivalent of 400 feet vertically. So if you're going up a mountain, you can go up a mountain 400 feet, but you got to come back down the same way. You can't go out from the top of that mountain. You still have to come back down the same way and maintain that 400 vertical feet.
I figured as much. That makes sense when you think about it.
So, thank you, Steve, for dropping in. He said he's got to take off, and you get some rest yourself, sir. And thank you for giving us that great info.
Great information, and thanks for doing what you could in your local community to.
I'm going to read it quite thoroughly after we're done.
Yeah, Steve. Thanks again. Like I said, I apologize. I got the specifics wrong because I just misread it. But either way, we all appreciate anybody who makes the effort to just try to do something, whether you write a letter or sit in on a meeting or anything that people do. And people should try to do it. People should do it. I wish people didn't just say, oh, F it, whatever, because then they just know they can do whatever the hell they want. They honestly do. They know they can do whatever the hell they want.
Right. Hey, John, you were talking about flying the mountains in New Jersey. I don't have to worry too much about flying 400 feet up the New Jersey mountains, at least in southern Jersey. We don't have such a thing as a mountain down here.
Let's see. So Curtis says, this sounds weird, so follow me. You can take off from a skyscraper and go 400 feet up, but you can't go out from the skyscraper.
Right.
That's my understanding of it. Is that not right? That's what, because see, I thought before it used to be that you could go up that skyscraper as long as you were within, and you could pretty much, as long as you were within the distance, as long as you weren't like close over here or something, you could go up the side and then you could go up above it 400 feet and then all the way around the top, even that range. But maybe I misunderstood it. Maybe I was uneducated to begin with, but I don't know.
So see, all this used to be so easy.
Go ahead, Nemo.
From what just so I can clarify this, if I'm an FPV pilot and I go out, and if I'm not 107, I can't do this 400 feet. But if I have a 107, I could do I could do the 400 feet.
As a hobbyist flight, you could. That's what's so crazy, and that's why I still think they might be pushing us that way, because you can be a 107 pilot, you can contact the tower using LANIC, and you can register it as a hobby flight as long as that drone is registered as your hobby drone.
So, what other purpose would as far as? See, I'm trying to figure the FPV equation into this, because that's pretty much all I fly. So as a FPV pilot, I'm just wondering, what would I be doing commercially, flying around a structure 400 feet?
Right, yeah.
Nemo makes a good point. Like if he applies for Part 107, whatever, is going to say, well, what's an FPV guy want to do with a Part 107 license?
You can't legally dive even a construction tower if you've got their permission, unless you're 107 and get permission and register that flight as a hobby pilot. So see, you could be working on a 100-story building and have permission from the owner and have permission from the construction company that you can buzz that, you can fly that stack, right? You have all those permissions. But under the rules, you couldn't fly up high enough to legally do all that and get by with it. Say it's like I said, 100 stories. So you want to fly up under the old rules to fly up the side of it so you can come back down and get that killer, the FPV rush coming down the side like we see and we all love.
Right.
But you can't do that unless you're 107 and register it as a hobby flight. But you can do it then. You can do the 400 foot from an object all the way up, all the way out and down.
But what other flight would there be other than a hobby? That's what I'm trying to get at. Just for devil's advocate, to understand the rules, because I'm kind of
we've seen tons of those. You've seen lots of drone footage flying up the side of a building in movies and stuff. So.
I get what Nemo's saying. Like they're forcing a hobbyist like him to get a Part 107 professional license so he can fly a flight that he's registered as a hobby flight.
Exactly.
That's I totally understand that. Don't you remember, like, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months ago, I was really upset because I figured this out, that 107s could actually use LANIC to register a hobby flight. But now it's a little stricter because you have to separate your drones. You have to register specific pro drones and you have to register specific hobby drones. And they have to be able to know the difference. Well, I mean, in order to use LANIC, when you're going to register your flight as a hobby pilot, you're still going to have to enter a number for that drone.
Right.
So that way they know, okay, this is his hobby number. He's registering the hobby flight. Okay, good to go. But
on the other side, don't you, like, as far as something like a Phantom or a Mavic, don't you have to enter that into? I mean, it's been a while since I've flown my Phantom or DJI anything, so I apologize. But don't you have to have a code, like if you're in restricted airspace, to put that in I mean, it's been a while since I've flown, like I said, DJI, so I don't know how that works in any kind of like anything remotely close to 5 miles within the airport.
Okay, do you remember when everybody kind of went, DJI is controlling us through the firmware crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, so DJI kind of put it into place, kind of saying, okay, if you really want to do this, you're going to have to register in the software that you're not going to, DJI is telling you you're not supposed to, but you're doing it anyway, so they want you to take responsibility. So you would click an object and hit OK, and then you would go. But, now it actually will come up and it will give you the choice of, I don't know. I haven't flown since this happened. But before
I have.
But before it would, what happens. But before it would give you the choice of accepting it yourself, or you could actually use Lanik, and you would have to have your pro number to get in. So I don't know. Tell us what that does now, John.
If you go to fly into Class D airspace, now what happens is it tells you you're flying into Class D airspace, yada, yada, yada. Make sure you have permission for that. If you have permission for that, then you check this little box that says, yes, I have permission. I absolve DJI from all responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. Whether you have permission or not, they don't make you prove it. They do not make you.
So that's the way it was. That's the way it was before. So, but did you have the option to use Lanik too?
No, they didn't have any option in there to do that.
Oh, wow. See, because it's been a while since I flew here.
And I say that because I did that I did that just the day before, and there were no firmware updates or nothing to any of my stuff. So it's I doubt it has changed at all since then. That was just like a day before all this crap.
Phantom Hodges also brought up the next subject, talking about what DJI is going to put into their drones by 2020. Ron, back to you.
Oh, I was just going to say, John, is that the day you flew the Phantom in front of your new house and you guys did the happy dance?
Yeah, the Mavic, right? Right.
Mavic, yeah, Mavic.
Yeah, I tested that area, and there's some Class D airspace near there, but when I flew toward it, that's when it literally stops you from flying into it, and it says, do you have authorization to do that? You have to check the box to say yes, you do, but they don't verify it. They don't verify it.
Well, I mean, I'm lucky in that in most of South Jersey, as long as you're in Jersey enough to be away from the Philadelphia airport, I can look at any app like Air Map and I can just see the pockets. And usually I can just just drive a couple miles and get to unrestricted airspace. I mean, there may be another pocket because there's some kind of little small airport, but it's not hard for me to drive from spot to spot and fly in unrestricted airspace. I'm lucky. It's very easy for me to get to unrestricted airspace and fly.
Yeah, I'm just glad that my new place, I can at least fly in my damn backyard and not be in Class D. I mean, I feel bad because I'm actually pretty close. I'm actually pretty damn close to it. So,
well, the thing that's cool for me is, and that's something else that's cool. That's one thing the FAA has got on the ball with. They've already got the site up to where you can actually see what it's going to be like if you happen to live in controlled airspace. You will see what kind of limits and stuff that you have once Lanik is in place, so that you can, get clearance in order to fly. Like me, I would have the same 200 feet that I always had, except right now where it's not in place for me as a hobbyist to use. I have to wait. So
one thing that really confuses me, and like maybe you guys can answer this, because I still don't have the answer. I still don't understand this. I looked at LANNC recently, and I went to set up a flight as I have my 107. So I set it up that I have my 107. I didn't see an option to fly as a 107 pilot, but make that flight a hobby flight. Does that make any sense? Like if you can get authorization to fly as a 107, but you're not flying for fun on that flight. You're flying. You're technically, quote unquote, flying commercially, but you're flying under your 107. Does that make any sense? Does it make any sense what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how you fly under your 107 for hobby.
Right. Yeah, it bothers me too.
Legally. That's
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying.
It drives me nuts
Practically,
too.
of course. Practically, because you can get the unlock. But like legally, I don't understand how the lines are.
Dude, I get you completely. Like, just like I said, why is it okay for 107 to have the 400-foot boundaries, but us as hobbyists who probably, some people have flied a lot longer than some 107 pilots, can't do it?
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mr. Steele. He was one of the original founders of Rotor Riot, but he has his 107 and he's very proud of it. And I can fly pretty much wherever I want. That's his attitude, which I guess that's true.
Yeah, like what you guys understand, I'm saying, like it's a huge headache because I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can have your 107 and still fly for hobby, because supposedly the air traffic control towers, if you're in Class D airspace, they're not supposed to authorize any flight for hobby right now. So, like, let's say you're in Class D, you now want to fly. Okay, you can get your 107, but that flight that you're doing is technically going to be a commercial flight, even if you're flying for fun. Like, that's so messed up to say, but
no. The thing about it is if you register with the FAA as a hobby flight and say you're using a Cinewhoop and you get some killer footage that would be great in a commercial or something like that, legally you cannot use it. And if you try, they'll bust you. I just get this strange feeling.
But how are they going to know if, okay, well, that flight was registered as a hobby flight? That's kind of that's where John's going, is how do you determine, okay, well, this is a hobby flight, this is a commercial flight. That's kind of what
I get what you're saying, but I think he's going more to it's hypocritical.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
To say that in order to do that, and which is just like Curtis brought up, he's talking about, he said, for the record, he's a hobbyist just like the rest of us, but he's like me. He feels like they're trying to make us get 107 in order to do that. So that's where, a lot of people, like all these people on the bigger channels, are going, oh, you fearmongers, you fearmongers. And I'm like, well, dude, really, you got 60, 70, 80,000 subscribers and you're making some good scratch. You can fly perfectly legal and go to places. I'm the hobbyist consumer that doesn't have all that support, that I'm the one that supports the companies and worries about all that other stuff. Something else I wanted to bring up real quick is, if you saw in the chat, kind of listen to me over my phone ringing, the guys were talking about the Xeno and their firmware updates. Let's see. I can see that Marcus said that he didn't see any clear difference, and something about the return to home disconnected. Ron didn't get to test his, and I think we're up to there. Ron, you want to throw anything there on that one?
Well, the Xeno got a firmware update on Monday to the flight control, and Tuesday got a gimbal update. And if you remember correctly, the last firmware update, 1.150, disabled the return to home feature on if you went out of range. Before, if you went out of range, it would automatically return to home, where now it wouldn't do that anymore. It forced you to turn the controller off. Well, that's been restored with this 1.151 update. But otherwise, they don't see a whole lot of difference otherwise. It doesn't have the hups to drop anymore, Bill. That's
okay. Something else too. I said, see that Brian said something about he's doing the update. It's flying good. And Ron, you didn't get to do the update. And the reason I was like, we need to kind of steer back, because we could spend probably 4 or 5 hours going back and forth on this FAA stuff. We announced that DJI intends to add airplane and helicopter avoidance and recognition to its software by 2020. We've gone round and round on being a rebel without a drone or being a rebel with a drone for quite a while. So I figured we'd just get back to regular drone goofiness and talking. So we're going to do a Xeno update. And if Gary ever comes back, he was going to tell us how Nemo came to be. And then I was going to talk about a little bit of something and something. So give us a little bit more, Ron, about the Xeno and what's been going on with it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a whole lot said. I mean, we pretty much said all that. It got an update. It seemed to fix its return to home issue on when it flew out of range. It seems to fix the hops and drop. It's just glad to see that they're still updating and trying to fix it, because there was a little fear, and I don't really have any facts to say this. I hate to be the gossip reporter, but a lot of people were worried about Hubspot for a while, because a lot of long-time employees are no longer with the company, and the website was down for a day or so. So there were some fears out there that there were some shakeups at Hubspot, but the fact that they still have the engineers working on the firmware updates for their flagship product is a good sign. So, I mean, Marcus already has a video up on his updates. Anybody that wants to see the flight with the update, check Idaho Quadcopter channel out on YouTube, and he'll show you the flight and he'll tell you the stuff in details. So we'll throw it back to Bill Thompson. Nemo had something he wanted to talk about.
Well, what it was we had talked a couple of days ago about something comical we were going to do. I wanted to give a quick shout out back to the chat. I can see Mikey Birdman just came into the house. I can see Dan Drumpool hit the house. Glad to have you guys. Oh yeah, and that's kind of there were, like, I saw Marcus saying something earlier. He didn't see any really discernible differences, but if you're saying they got rid of the drops, then that's pretty big difference actually. But I guess maybe he's saying that other than the fine tuning, it doesn't seem to really have done much other than kind of fix those major things.
Well, we'll clarify that the hops and drops important to, seems like, big time YouTube reviewers that waste 30 minutes showing the hops and drop, but to us true hobbyists, we take the thing up and then start flying right away. We don't stand there and watch it hover for 20 minutes. So that's why it's not a big deal to people like Marcus and I. It's more of a big deal if you're a big time YouTube reviewer trying to get a bunch of looks or something.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, something. Okay, so let's flip to another subject really quick. Well, not necessarily quick. I'm going to get Nemo to talk for a few minutes, hopefully, because I got to run and get me another energy drink. We were talking about kind of something funny the other day to come up with, because we always seem to go off on a tangent towards the end of the show. So he was going to give us the story, and I'm going to unplug my earphones when I get up and leave so I can hear what he's saying. He's going to tell us how the name Nemo came about and the story behind it and everything, and I'll be right back. Go.
Well, basically, I used to be a DJ. I was a house DJ. I played house music in the rave scene, and I was getting pretty big. But before I did my first house party, my friend was like, "Hey, you need a DJ name," and I was like, who's going to make flyers?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll be Nemo." And this was about the time that The Matrix was out. And I was like, "I'll be that guy from The Matrix." Yeah, Nemo, the guy from The Matrix. So he made a flyer, put Nemo on it, and come to find out, obviously, the guy's name was Neo, not Nemo. So that's pretty much it. And it kind of stuck over the years. There are people that still don't know my real name, that they see me. It's like, "Hey, Nemo, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, dude."
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it just kind of stuck with me, and that was way before that movie came out. But you got it the other day in chat. You said something about Captain Nemo, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Nemo, like Captain Nemo, 20,000 Leagues Under Sea." I was like, yeah, I like that. So whatever. Did you hear it, Bill?
I think he did.
Yes, I got to hear the story. That was pretty cool. I was kind of running around doing craziness and getting some stuff done. Well, see, I think what the subject was I wanted to tell everybody who doesn't know that John's last name is Cuppi.
Yeah.
Like Cooper, like DB Cooper. So it's Cuppi. But a lot of people tend to call him Cuppi. So I said, we just ought to give him the nickname Tin Cup, just like Kevin Costner's character. And we could just say, we could call him Clank, and he could say, well, that's when he's always hitting the fence post when he's out there flying FPV.
I love it, Bill.
So I just thought that and that's what led us into the subject of talking about names and stuff. And then mine, anybody that doesn't know, I kind of go by like Dead Thomas, but it started out as a gamer tag as my original like email address because I used to follow the Grateful Dead and my last name's Thomas, so kind of mashed them together.
Wait. You used to?
I haven't been to a Dead show in a while. Been a while. Just because I buy all their paraphernalia and gear doesn't mean, I mean, Jesus, they're as commercial as anybody else. It's like $500 to go to a show. I'm like, where am I going to camp?
Wow.
I was like, forget this, man. I'll just remember the good old days and look at old tickets.
Hey, Matthew Cundiff in the chat says he just ordered the Bugs 4W. Any info in his drone yet? John, you're a big toy drone guy. Do you know anything about the Bugs 4W?
It's a rebranded drone from
Like
but otherwise I haven't gotten my hands on it. So I wish I could tell you more.
But isn't it kind of like a Manus clone?
It's actually like a folding drone. It looks sort of like a weird Mavic.
But the unique Mantis is a folding drone. Yeah, it's a folding drone that has that 4K front, the camera in the front that just articulates up and down.
Looks a lot like a Mantis, yeah.
So see, that's what I was thinking. Maybe Unique rebranded and sold it to JJRC, and then JJRC sold it.
It's not super new. You can probably find some reviews of it online. I think it came out in January.
How much? Do you know how much it is, John?
I'm pretty sure it's probably like 200 or something like that.
So less than half the price of the Manus.
Dan says he got a new quad, a Diatone GTM 530.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that must be
we got a good one here.
I was gonna say that if
Diatone makes really good stuff.
How so? What do you mean they make? What do they?
But they're good for like binding flies. Really good. Like Quadfather, he has a few. I think he has 2, if I'm not mistaken. If he's still here, he could probably chime in and let us know. But I know he has 1 definitely, and it's really nice. It's really nice. Flies really, really well.
Are they freestyle or racers?
Which ones?
Those diatones.
Oh, it's a racer. It's a racer.
Okay.
Oh, as he said, it's a freestyle or racer. I didn't know there was a category. Sorry,
Nemo. Would you for the mass audience here? Would you explain the difference between
freestyle and
freestyles?
Racing is there's a set course. You fly through gates. You go around flags. You have a start. You have a finish. Freestyle is pretty much you go out and flip and fly over trees and do like Matty flips and power loops and split S's, and you do basically tricks. It's about it.
Yeah, so it's just like with any kind of sport that you do freestyle in. So
right.
Yeah, you pretty much do whatever whatever looks good.
Okay, but do you do it? Is the drone set up differently, or is it the same drone for each thing?
Yeah, usually. Well, I mean, usually a freestyle quad is heavier. It's much heavier, and it's a little more durable. A racer is a lot lighter, and it's usually doesn't have a GoPro on top of it.
Right. Well, which do you do mostly, freestyle or racing?
I'm all freestyle. I mean, let me rephrase that. I try to do freestyle.
Hey, but you've accomplished a Matty flip, which is,
yes.
The thing I want to do is when it looks like people are flying inverted. I love that. And I love how the Matty, to me, a Matty flip looks like when the old biplanes and prop planes were trying to do outside loops.
You should check out his YouTube. Matty is insane. He has his own unique style. He flies with a 60-degree camera tilt. That's like, I fly with like maybe 15, 20. So his camera is like, it's way up there.
some other names I saw in the chat that I want to call out. I want to say Night Train, FPV, glad to have you here. FSU grad, glad to see that you made it tonight. And Matthew was talking about he found the Bugs 4W on Amazon. What kind of price did you pay for that drone, if you don't mind us asking? And back to you, gentlemen. What do you like to talk about now? Anything. Of course, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. But we still got people watching. I guess we're relevant up to now.
Hey, are there any chicks in here yet?
Oh, Juneau County Droner. Glad to see you pop in the door. Are there any chicks in the house yet? They, after us going, is there any chicks in it? They're never going to admit it to us. No, I'm a bald-headed 400-pound guy sitting in my living room.
You know what they say? There's no girls on the internet. If they are, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Don't trust pictures.
There you go.
I'm really a truck driver from Albuquerque.
Hey, Matthew just said he got that Bugs 4W for $249 with a case and 2 batteries.
I don't know. Is it a hard shell case? Let's see. I'm wondering. What do y'all think? So it's kind of a Manus clone with 2 batteries. Is it 2 batteries total? Yeah, 2 batteries and a case.
I remember when John reviewed that what was the Bugs 3 Pro last summer.
Yeah.
That's the one that Billy got, wasn't it?
That was the one that Billy got, yeah, and he shipped it to me so I could review it.
Oh, speaking of, let me have the floor just for a minute. If y'all hadn't got a chance, please go by and check out Billy Kyle's channel and his newest video. He's home for the summer. He's only got 1 more year of school left. So he's kind of chilling out and doing some cool stuff, trying to kind of mixing it up, trying to do a little something different. He's actually, this video that he put out for his summer, I don't know, intro was really cool. There's a lot of different stuff he's trying. It's really cinematic, kind of all movie grade type stuff. Really cool to check out. So if you get a chance, check out Billy Kyle's channel. Also check out the original Dobo. Man, he's been pumping out the killer videos, and speaking from the heart and talking about his mind and opinion on a lot of stuff too. So get over there and check that out too. Make sure you check out everybody that you've seen in the chat tonight. We know, of course, that if once you subscribe, you can't check out all their videos. But from time to time, go by and check out everybody's stuff. Tell them how they're doing. And with that, I'll go back to general chat.
Bill, remind them to check out the video I posted recently of the greatest flying drone on the internet, that JDR Golden Egg.
Did you go right? That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead and put out your plugs, guys. Go for it, man.
The Golden Egg video is for entertainment only. You won't. I don't think I even talk about the buttons or anything. It's just it's entertainment value only. But that's my big plug of the week. The Golden Egg drone, which the Golden Egg drone was sent to me by Brian Singleton, and it's already been resent out to somebody else. Like, you will see the Golden Egg pop up on another YouTube channel in the next couple of days.
Ah, very cool. Part of the drone exchange.
Part of the drone exchange.
There you go. There you go.
Program.
Oh, Curtis is saying now he wants to do acro stuff. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Oh, fly acro. Fly acro when they close the show out.
Hey, put on the goggles and fly acro.
Oh, yeah. I do everything,
ending, right?
man. I don't have the FXT? I need those goggles that I can see with these on.
Yeah, I thought you got goggles.
I do, man, but they're the ones that came with the ready to fly. And even let me put it this way. I'll put them on and I'll zoom it in all the way, and I'm like,
fly with the force, Bill.
bang.
Yeah,
bang.
fly with the force. Like Luke Skywalker.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Sure thing, man. That's funny. But someday I'm actually going to get the 5-inch up and running and make Brian proud. So one of these days I'll actually have all the extra time. Something I wanted to do, because we're getting towards that point of the show when we all get kind of punchy and goofy. So I wanted to give a shout out to Canadian Drone Hub. They come in, they support us every week. If you hadn't had a chance, start your day out with Canadian Drone Hub. Get you a cup of coffee. They're always talking about either FPV drones or camera drones or something to do with drones. And then every now and again, since it's a bunch of old people like us, they get to wandering off on other stuff. What? Oh, okay. Sorry. Back to what we were doing. So, yeah, it's like I said, check out Canadian Drone Hub. Check out Billy Kyle. Check out Original Dobo. Check out John Cuppi. Check out Nemo. Check out Ron T. Brown. Make sure you check out Xeno Nation on Monday nights, man. It's a really good show. I think they might even be talking about some other drones on Xeno Nation too. Who knows? They might even be evolving into a more broad drone channel. Who knows?
Bill, real quick, we got a programming note on Xeno Nation. We normally on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but this Monday's Memorial Day, so we're going to take off. We're going to let everybody enjoy their cookouts and parades and so on. But next week on May 31st, that's a Friday, we will do a special Xeno Nation. The title is going to be Drone Seeker Nation, where we're going to go live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. in Spain and 9 p.m. in UK. It's going to be a special European edition, and we're going to be joined by the great Sean Matthews, the founder and president of the Drone Seekers organization, will be with us. So it's going to be a really special show. So if you can't tune in live because you may be at work or whatever, watch the recording because it's going to be great. It's going to be something special. So that's Friday, May 31st. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, that's very cool. Very cool. And we'll try to even next week, since we'll be on next Wednesday, you can bring that up again. And is that not going to be cool? What's next Wednesday's date?
Next Wednesday is good. I don't think it's any holiday.
Yeah, the 29th. So we can bring it up again next Wednesday and talk about it then, and you can point it out to everybody. That would be cool. Something else I wanted to say. There's some people here, if you don't know for sure, I live in Washington State. If anybody here listens to it or anytime in the recorded time, if you live in Washington State and want to hook up and fly sometime, please drop a message here or send me a message on Coast to Coast Drones on Facebook page. Everybody here is welcome to join that group. If you haven't checked out that group, make sure you check out that group, RC World, Xeno Nation. They're all located on Facebook. Get over there and check them out. And another thing, if everything goes through, I'm going to be going to Manila in March next year, and I'm going to take some drones with me. So anybody in Manila that's listening to this, if you're there and would like to fly with me in March next year, please do the same and drop me a message either here on the channel or send me a message on Facebook. Anybody else got anything? Anybody?
Is that going to be the Thriller from Manila?
Oh, good one, Nemo.
Oh, but the thing about it is I would like to take the P4P, but she's just too big of a beast.
It'll be the thrill of Manila if Bill gets busted by the local FAA in Manila.
There ain't no laws about drones in the Philippines, man.
That's a year away, Bill. There could be by then.
Hey.
Create some rules.
This is drone therapy, man. It's supposed to be on a good note. We're going to hang. Everybody's had released all those bad drone toxins and pulled in all the good drone vibes.
I take that back. I take back what I said.
So here we are. We're in the happy neverland of drones, feeling good about ourselves and how euphoric drones make us feel as a group in a community. Thank you. I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel like I've sucked helium for 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know.
You sound like
You're trying to be Robin.
Zen on us.
I'm trying to be who? Robin Williams?
Sound like you're trying to be Robin Williams.
channeling Robin Williams. Oh, no.
Robin Williams.
We would get too graphic then because I do know some of his routines.
Oh.
But anyway, bad air. No, I'm not going to pull one of those. Anyway, John, do you have anything? You got any new videos you want to bring up or talk about? Yeah, you do have a new video out that you could bring up and talk about, as a matter of fact.
yes.
I've got two new videos. The first one is my house because I just bought a house, so I'm really, really stoked for that. Of course, I'm not on the property for more than an hour, and I'm already flying a drone out there and getting video. And so yeah, there's my house video, and then the video I uploaded before that was my long-term review of the Hawk 5, and it's basically a compilation of some of what I think is my best FPV to date. You know, I'm orbiting myself. I'm just letting it rip because I don't care. I mean, I didn't care about the Hawk 5. I was just like, I'm just gonna take this thing out and do some crazy stuff. So I think it's my best reel. So if you guys want to check that out, I really appreciate it.
I saw the video and I recommend it.
Yes, I did too. I thought it was great. I even said so on his page. So,
Thanks, guys.
Gary, anything you want to add? Don't you? You got some new stuff coming out? You want anything to add to this?
I will have some new stuff coming out because, as you can see here, I got a new iMac today, and I can actually start uploading decent quality footage. And I've got Final Cut Pro 10, and it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm definitely going to do a lot more. I may branch out into other things and just try everything, but my main focus is FPV as always.
Very, very, very cool.
Wow.
Well, that's cool. So just be watching for some new stuff coming from Nemo. So it's going to be some interesting stuff coming from that way. Ron, got anything else? John, anybody?
Watch for a video on my channel coming soon on the rocket drone. It's a 360-degree camera drone. I may be going to film it with the Insta360, so it may be the first YouTube video ever filmed entirely in 360, ground and air. So, I mean, it's going to be one you won't want to miss. So, I can't tell you when, but it will be coming soon.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very cool.
Somebody in this panel may be the receiver of the rocket drone when I'm finished with it.
Oh, part of the drone exchange program. Yes, that's right. Ron created the drone exchange program, and Brian Singleton, True Drone Reviews, is its main benefactor, I guess you would
main
say.
Supplier.
Yeah, that's what I would say. He's the main coordinator of dispersal of drones from his closet. So
look for Brian's video on the bee drone I sent him. He loves this little bee drone I sent him. It looks like a bumblebee, and he kept saying, "You shouldn't have sent this one to me. It flies too good. It's a nice." He's got 2 videos on it, but he's really happy with it.
Yeah, like I said, anybody that we mentioned, they're all super good people. If we haven't mentioned you tonight, or we haven't mentioned you enough tonight, then please, we love everybody that comes into chat tonight. Something I've noticed, I don't know what's going on with YouTube here lately. Tonight, I noticed some people that had come in that were originally moderators in our chat, and I even looked over and was like, so I don't know what's going on. It seems like from week to week, something gets changed often, and I don't get it. So please, no one think I've done anything horrible or done anything to offend anybody. I wasn't meaning to do any of that. I'm not mad at anybody in particular. We just were in here talking about drones every week. And with that being said, please come back and join us again next week, because we don't know what new drone news is going to come up or what stuff we want to talk about. We're always glad to have everybody here. So I'm going to pass it around to the panel for their good nights, and I'll pass it to Nemo first, and he can pass it to whoever he wants to after he's done.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Ron, Bill, John, always a good time. Love it. Anytime you guys want me back, I'll be here. That's about it. John, to you.
I mean, pretty much the same here. I enjoy coming on here and talking to you guys about this stuff. It's always a blast. I'm always ready. I'm always ready to come on here. Such a great panel, all good people, all good things. And you get to just release our frustrations. This is the therapy. So I'm good. I'm glad I got my rage against these FAA rules out. It felt good tonight. And thank you guys. A lot of you guys are in the chat. You guys congratulated me on my new house too. So really, thank you guys. Really appreciated that.
Ron?
I want to congratulate or thank everybody for being in the chat room tonight. You were a great gang as always, and you a lot of great comments. You contributed mightily to the show tonight. And I want to congratulate Nemo on his new iMac and Final Cut Pro. I added on an iMac too, and I use Final Pro somewhat, but I kind of, is using the I always forget the name, like the free editor now that's real good too. But anyhow, and congratulations to John for his new house. I'm so happy for you and your girlfriend, and most of all, I want to thank Bill Thomas for letting me be part of this show and his great panel tonight, and for doing what he does for the community. He's all about promoting the hobby, keeping the community working together to fend off the FFA and the big business from taking our airspace away. So He really does so much for the drone community. And I'm going to pass it back to Bill Thomas for his final pearls of wisdom on the evening.
And future farmers of America are pretty brutal people.
And they're very happy too.
You did it again, Ron.
Oh,
yeah. That's okay. That's okay. They might like to fly drones too.
That's gonna be my thing. That's gonna be my calling card from now on.
Beware the FFA. We need to put that on a shirt, man. We need to put that on a shirt with a big stamp through the drone. Beware the FFA.
Beware the FFA.
People be like, "What do you mean? What did the FAA?" No. It's a joke, man. Don't you get it?
Ron, it's all good fun. We love you, man. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mean anything. But if you were offended, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm leaving hilarious right now.
I just thought it was hilarious, man.
I don't know. Some people feel they get belittled.
Yeah. But hey, let's be
if I
good
can
now.
make anybody laugh or be happy, I'm all for it. I don't mind being the what do you call it, the instigator of the laughing or whatever.
Oh, okay. A couple things come up here. Yeah, okay. Nemo saw where Curtis was asking if he needed a logo. Okay, and now Roger is inviting you, Nemo, Friday morning, 9 a.m. on the East Coast for FPVers, but I don't know. You're going to be at work, ain't you?
I am. That sucks.
Yes.
Roger, why do you have to have that on the day that I am literally going to be up at my house waiting for CenturyLink to come and install my internet? And it can be anywhere between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I literally have to stay there all day to see when or if they even show up. I'll have no
Something tells me you're going to take a bag of batteries.
Yo, yeah, Tiny Hawk, baby. I'm going to be Tiny Hawking. I actually ordered batteries 2 days ago because my Banggood order still isn't here. So just so I have some batteries to Tiny Hawk around.
Looky. Ah.
Hey, I just
I
have to say I kind of have an issue with Ron.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because he's wearing a Philly shirt, and I'm a hardcore Yankees fan, and I don't know. I'm a baseball guy.
Nemo, we're not even in the same league. Calm down or whatever, but it's not the Mets I have. I mean, it's not the Red Sox I have on here. We're not even in the same league, let alone the same division. We only play a couple interleague games every once in a while and meet in the World Series every 50 years. So you can relax on that one.
You said the R word, the Red Sox. Ugh.
Right. I don't have there's no, I don't have a Red Sox jersey on. So just calm your gears down there.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you. All right. I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna thank everybody. We're glad to have had everybody here. Anybody that's in the chat or anybody, if you get a chance, if you liked what we talked about, if you think it's cool what we talked about, please try to share this with anybody and everybody that you might want or think might have interest in it. If anybody that's in the chat or might watch this in the future is interested in coming on the show and talking with any group of crazy people like the rest of us, please give a shout out to anybody that you see here, as everyone knows how to contact me and get onto the show with us and talk about drones. Again, thank you very much, everybody. Please come back and join us again next week. Same drone time, same drone channel.